fire. So as long as he starts well, I think Adelaide are going to have a really good shot at this, because you just never know what Brisbane Bullets will show up.
No sitting on the fence, Hammer. That's why you're here. So I'm glad you finally got off it. As we head towards tip-off.
I don't often do that either.
That's how
tight it's going to be.
T's just realised that he isn't starting. Shea comes back on.
That's
miscommunication.
No bad start when you miss that memo.
That's a psych job. That's a psych out job.
Don't mind it. Tees will go to the bench. Shea comes back in. Griffin and Hodgson to get us underway here at the Armoury. City round. Hungry Jacks NBL weekend is away. And hits it straight out of court. And it will stay with Brisbane, who'll get first crack at it. A great win on Monday night. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix to go. It's what Joey Wright does. He fires them on the bench, on the road, and gets hating everyone. Yes, Peter Hooley?
I'm sorry, but I think there've just been 2 substitutions in 3 seconds. They took Tees out right before the ball had tipped, maybe to try and win the jump, and they didn't win it, and Tees is straight back in.
I can't help you, Halls, but I can tell you Shea was named on the starting 5, so there you go. Anyway, let's get back to it. Here's Singler, gets into the key. Running jump hook. From about 8 foot, he's able to put the first points on the board for the Bullets.
Great start for him. A lot of question marks about their imports, but that time got the mobility to be able to put the ball on the floor and finish.
His tee's guarded by Kadee, gets inside. Tries to go, nice little used. Just a little of the off arm to be able to go up and under. And Griffin's able to put it in, continuing his good game from Monday night. Absolutely, and as you said, on Monday, he was a beast. He really just came out on fire and was really confident. So it's good to see them go to him early, and it's a great tough finish. Kadee, left-hand dribble for 3. Hard off the back rim, long rebound, and Randall will push the other way for the 36ers. Guarded by Singler. Pulls up, 18 foot. We've seen it a lot.
There is no one in the league that makes more contested long twos than that man. He's unbelievable. He does it at such a high percentage.
Now it's Strimmick. 22 points on Monday was brilliant. Great pass. T's running the floor. Little reverse layup, using the window, and it's a 6-2 lead to Adelaide. That's what you need to do. You get on the road, you've got to be able to handle it early, and that's what they've done early, Hooley. They have for sure, and as you said, Jerome Randall, he's tough when he's in transition. But I like that Adelaide 36ers, when they get a stop, or even if the other team scores, they just run, and that's why they can be really competitive with anybody. Sobey against his former team, takes a little bump, can't kiss it off the window, he'll go line for 2. Adelaide in the zone, Hammer, do you like the start?
Well, I like the fact they're going to mix it up and try and make Andre Lamanis make a few adjustments as well. But if you're the Brisbane Bullets, you know a shot goes up, you have to be able to pick up the ball and you have to be able to protect the basket at the other end. They shoot less threes than any other team in the competition, the Adelaide 36ers, so they're going to clog it up and try and take them out of their momentum of being able to get themselves in the paint. You talk about switching it up. Is that what the 3-second substitution was most likely to do? Just keep them guessing? Maybe. I don't know. Or someone else didn't get the memo. It was a clerical error, I'm going with. Yeah. I think the wrong name was written, and then there might have been a late change. And you can't do that to Tees. He's from Brisbane. His whole family's there.
6'4", Sobey averaging 16 points a game. I'll talk on your thoughts shortly, Hammer, about how you've seen his year. First year at Brisbane. Here is Randall, guarded by that man, Sobey. Shot clock's down to 10. Left-hand dribble, uses the Griffin screen, bumps it off. Griffin was going to try and get on Singler. Lost the handle, falls into Daniel Johnson's hand. He's able to put it home.
Good D from Singler, too, to be able to go straight up and down there. No call, which was the right call.
Sobey, half the double team, cross-court pass. Kadee back into the starting 5, goes baseline. Patterson, too easy around Daniel Johnson, and in the end, the finger roll. Fairly uncontested after he got around the on-ball defender. He's so tough, and he never looks like he's going too fast in this game, and whether that's the way or shape he's in, but he's always under control, and he's such a tough guard no matter where he is on the floor. Jimmy tries to split. I think it might be on.
I think they did just reach the ball to make one.
Patterson as Trimmick asked for an unsportsmanlike foul. Not going to laugh though, Hammer, because there's been a few other ones that have raised your eyebrow. You have a look at this.
Just put a hand on his hip. That's a right call.
Randall, shot clock at 6. Got to get work and splits the double team. Gets deep into the key. Takes a bump from Sobey. In the end, put him under a basket, and Patterson has then Sobey just trips on his own shoelace. Ugly 5 seconds here, but it leads to Hodgson. Just backs it in, gets in, goes one way, goes nowhere because Griffin, great defense. Griffin falls into Patterson's hands. Too big for Randall. We're tied at 8.
Well, that was a great seal from Patterson. He was looking for the ball over the top because he had Jerome Randall on his hip. Great offensive rebound.
Drimmick all the way to the bucket. Gets the bump. It'll count. Seemed that Singler might have been in a restricted area. Uses the left hand and the old-fashioned three-point play opportunity for Drimmick.
And he's been on fire the last couple of weeks, and it started in that game in Adelaide where he had a career high in rebounds, and he just used that energy to go after boards, and then last week just filled that energy and kept rolling, and that confidence has comes, and he looks like a completely different player. And then we know he's a terrific shooter, but if he can do these things as well as get those tough boards, he makes himself a really, really good player.
Slowish start to the season, had some off-season surgery which delayed him leading into the blitz, but he's hugely important, as you said, is he is able to make all three there and give the 36ers that lead. It's 11-8, 6:50 to go first quarter here at the Armoury. Sobey, guarded by his old teammate Drimmick. Step back, got it! Little tangle up by Singler and Griffin underneath. It doesn't matter, Sobey nothing but net. 5 points for Sobey, averaging 16 on the year. Hammer, have you seen his first year in a Bullet jersey?
I think he's been solid, but I think the fact that they don't have the balance right, the Brisbane Bullets, has made it a little bit harder. If you threw an athletic four-man in there, probably a point guard too. If you had an American point guard, he was playing the two, which I think is his natural fit. He can play the point guard spot. But I think he's a better two-man, to be honest.
And that little change up tonight, too, Halls. I'll get to that in a moment. Firstly, though, of course, the WhatsApp question on NBL Talkback. Which of these two teams is more likely to make the playoffs? Both teams with 4 and 5 records, so get involved on NBL Talkback on the number on your screen, which is, Hammer?
Southeast Melbourne.
Halls?
Well, it's a tough one, and I think I had the Brisbane Bullets early in the season, but as I said, they've just been so inconsistent. So whichever team obviously finds form will have a good shot at it. But I think if the Adelaide play like they have been on Monday night, then they're going to find themselves in the conversation.
Patterson straight on the Magnate. Griffin came late, got the hand on the pill, was able to stop the dunk. Back to Patterson. Shot clock at 8. Kadee says, I don't need 8. He might have as it comes off the iron, and now they'll push Drimmick 4-on-1 in the end. Just leaves a wide open layup for Brendan Tees.
And that's what they do. They've done it for years since Joey Wright took the reins. They want to run it down your throat. As Sobey goes again.
8 for Sobey. Lead man for Brisbane right now as he gets that lead back to a point. Yet to miss. 2-2 from the field. Turangi's checked in. This time shows no respect to Griffin. In the end, it worked, although I think the push-off on Lamar Patterson. And it'll stay with Adelaide.
This is interesting. With Turangi already into the game, we've seen him. He was awesome last year, but has virtually been banished to the bench. And now with Glidden coming in, he was 10th man to hit the court for the Brisbane Bullets against the Illawarra Hawks. See a little replay. And interesting to see that Andre Lamanis has brought those two guys in first here tonight.
Tees looking, gets it to Johnson. Little give and go, great play. Couldn't finish it, was Tees. He's getting his own board. He does for a second. And Turangi on the rebound foul. And it'll stay with Adelaide. Just on Ruben Turangi, Fools, because most improved last year. 6th man of the year, had a really good year. And then they bring in Singler, they bring in Braun, and they brought in Lamar Patterson. They've essentially bought players in his exact position, as Hammer just said.
Well, that's something Hammer spoke about for the last few weeks, is they have so many guys in that same position, and as Drimmick again continues to fire, but it just makes life tough. We know what Ruben Turangi can do. There's a reason he won those awards last year, and same as Cam Glidden, and you bring in these guys that they kind of lose their roles and lose their identity as players, and you hope they can find it, but as I think Hammer's got on the nail on the head in the last couple of weeks.
Sobey feeling it. Heat check. That's way off. No iron on that occasion. Now Adelaide will push, leading by 4. Randall thought about it, hesitates. Goes around Magnay like he was standing still. Gets all the way to the bucket. And Will Magnay's having an outstanding year, but he was on an island there and he had nothing he could do.
And that's exactly what this zone defense is doing. They're not allowing the Brisbane Bullets to be able to penetrate, challenging them to shoot from the perimeter. And then on the other end, the Adelaide 36ers have only taken 2 3-point attempts. They're 1 from 2. They want to rebound, run it down your throat, shooting the ball at 69% because it's all coming from inside the paint.
6-point lead early here at the Armoury Friday night, 20-14. Taylor Braun checks in for the Bullets. Down the other end, we see Ramon Moore check in after he was passed medically fit after he didn't play on Monday against South East Melbourne Phoenix.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks. A lot of people didn't know exactly why I wasn't playing, but they've cleared it up now, and obviously he's in the playing. But I want to talk about, as you said, Cam Glidden coming in, and Jason, it was kind of Jason Caddy's role to come in and be that shooter off the bench, be that spark. So I'm hoping this is a chance for Cam Glidden to realise now, these last 4 minutes of this quarter, you have kind of a green light. Come in and do what you do. Hunt your shot and let it fly. So I'm hoping he can find a little bit of confidence here.
Johnson dumps it inside. Ramon Moore, little hesitation, runs out of room, tries to throw it weak side to Johnson, but it was really essentially for a 7-7 man rather than 6-9.
I read the report that our man, Liam Santamaria, did with Andre Lamanis, and surprised that Andre was flabbergasted that people could say that he's recruited so many people that are alike. He believes that they're all different, and he believes he's recruited a team that can win the championship.
Glidden for 3. Well, tell me a coach who doesn't back themselves in hammer even if they're started slowly.
No, but that's where I think is going to be their undoing, is that he's recruited the wrong team, and you need to put your hand up and say, we need to make an adjustment. There's time for them to be able to bring in the right players to get it done. But it's almost like he's got his head in the sand, be able to say, no, this is a great team, we can win the championship, and I don't see it, and I don't believe it.
I think the talk in the off-season was that Lamar Patterson was going to be too expensive, so the athletic 4 was kind of on their radar, and I think Sean Tate, even though he's not overly tall, would have fit that bill. But when Lamar Patterson popped back up, I think it changed.
But I think then you've got to adjust again, and then you've got to do something with Singler or Braun, and to be able to release them and bring somebody that adds balance, because you've lost Tarangi, who averaged 10.5 last year, 3 points this year, and Glidden is only a skeleton of what we know he's capable of doing. As the little fella goes bang again.
And cause Andre Lamanis to ask for timeout. They lead by 8. Jerome Randall, 6 points following his 27-point game on Monday, and he's feeling it nicely. And of course, with an 8-point lead to Adelaide, Andre Lamanis, not happy with the referees, and probably not his team either, as we have a listen to drain the timeout.
They're in that zone, come and play now a week short. All right, just here, whack, get to that punch screen, and then this guy getting the short and this guy rolling hard. Exactly, like these guys are open here. And sometimes just as you advance it, like that lead post as you're coming down, just have a look at it. So if it gets thrown, maybe you can go straight in there before we go into that punch screen.
That guy coming through, I think it's a good option. Load that side. Load it side. Yeah, so I think like, make sure we get corner field here so that guy has to be.
Which is how weak works. Yeah, we're right, we'll do that. Hey, we've got to keep playing the defense. We've got to get shit iced when we need to get iced. Everybody's got to rebound. We're okay here. We're just got to like get a couple of catches and some finishes, stay aggressive at the rim.
We need to get some people in safety.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Andre Lamanis staying positive, but their inability right now to be able to break this zone down is a huge reason they're in that 8-point hole.
And one of the things you need to do to be able to break is you need a true point guard out there. And I think them starting Kadee and Sobey, where both are ball handlers and bring the ball up the court, it makes it a little difficult. But I think overall that's the one piece the Brisbane Bullets are missing, is having that one American maybe point guard to really run the show. But obviously they brought Kadee back in to do that right now.
Well, I think the other thing is that their defense is woeful. If you're taking the ball out of the net, you allow them to be able to get this zone set up. If they get some stops, they get out in transition, start to free things up a little bit themselves, but they can't get stops.
And in perfect Joey Wright form, he goes out of that zone for that particular play. Daniel Dillon, best performance in an Adelaide 36er jersey on Monday night. He checks in for his first game time, as does Froling for the 36ers.
To back you on the Joey Wright obviously changing up his defense, I think he's done that really well in this first quarter, because it's something Lamanis does really well with the Bullets, is throw these different defenses at teams, really junk it up at times, put Ruben Trangi at the 5 and stuff. So I think Joey's just trying to give him a little bit of his own medicine, but that man started really well.
Singler, a little floater down the lane. He's got 4. The lead's back to 6. Moore. Guarded by Glidden. Goes away from the Shea screen. Gets a little bump. And great pass inside Shea, who was able to use his body to give himself a little bit of room. And once Ramon Moore drew a half-double team, it was an easy dump pass and an easy 2 for the 36ers, as Magnay and Froling bump it up, and Froling will be assessed.
And I love that from Magnay. We know he's an athlete, but he got down the floor then, got deep in the paint, tried to seal big Froling right underneath. And he's got the ability to be able to play inside, outside. Great pick and pop, pick and roll. Plays above the ring as well. Huge upside for this young Magnay.
Well, Corey Homicide-Williams believes he's destined to get a two-way NBA contract sooner rather than later. He has had a nice year. And he's actually, as Singler gets inside again fairly easy, he's able to kiss it home. He's actually a player who's benefited from Wandre Lamanis' scout and his recruiting. While he's filled one particular spot, Magnay's been able to play a little bit because they may not have that athletic format.
Well, but I'm not sure that he's playing the 4. I think he's playing those backup minutes and tag teaming with the big fella inside anyway, so.
Here's Randall. Takes on a little spin cycle. It's unguardable. Is it unguardable? You tried?
It is. No, it is. You're right, and I've failed a lot of times. It's a lonely island to be on, trying to guard Jerome Randall one-on-one.
That is going to count for Jason Cadiz. He's scoring for the attack. Just quickly before Cadiz shoots his 3, is there any truth to the rumour that you blew out a shoe last year trying to guard Randall in Sydney?
That is true. That is true. He got me one time, and I went to try and change the direction real quick, and I ended up having to go to Foot Locker the next day. So he's too quick, man. He's so quick. It is a very, very scary, lonely island to be on.
Cadiz takes the bump, is able to get it to fit.
Well, we knew this was going to be a high-scoring game, but this is ridiculous. Look at this, 21-26, 57% for the Bullets, and 75% for the Adelaide 36ers, if you don't mind.
Kevin White into the game. Dylan baseline, just hands it off. Moore got a wide open 8-footer. Great pass, couldn't finish it. Magnay with the rebound, but the referee's found something. He will stay with Brisbane. I don't think there's anything wrong with all offense, no defense, is there, Hammer?
Well, we'd like to mix it up. I mean,
for us.
I like seeing the scoring, but you know, if these teams are seriously going to compete to be able to make the playoffs and to be able to beat the big dogs in Sydney and Melbourne United and Perth, you're going to have to be able to do a bit of both.
Magnay to the foul line as players take their time to reconvene. 2:14 to go, first quarter. Adelaide have led by 8, by 5.
He's got great form for a big guy. Big advantage at his size with that athleticism. If you've got that sort of technique and you can make free throws at a high percentage.
Commentators jinx. Dylan. White. More counter by Braun. Shea couldn't quite get to Daniel Johnson. Little foot fault there by Magnay, and it will stay with Adelaide with 14 on the shot clock.
And I really like what I've seen from Adelaide. It's carried over from Monday night, but they're moving the ball and everyone's moving off the ball, and they're never standing still. Everybody knows that anybody can get it at any time. You saw the play before on Daniel Dillon's drive, and everyone's cutting and really playing well for each other. And whether that started with something that Joey Wright said last weekend, but from the Southeast Melbourne game to this game, they've really started to look like a really good, well-oiled team.
EJ Singler takes a seat. Little double team. Oh, Daniel Johnson was able to use a pass fake to get out of it. Took a bump. Referee said play on, and now Brisbane will push the other way. Great cross-court pass. Braun, one more to Glennon. That's down. Exactly what Cameron Glidden needed. And the lead is back to 1.
And that's what we're talking about when they get stops. They can get out to the races themselves. They've got shooters all the way around the horn as well. Great extra pass from Braun.
Dylan uses the dribble to get into the key. Nearly double dribbles. Shot clock's at 5, at 4. And it's an offensive foul on Daniel Johnson. The big boys were bumping. Referees were able to isolate. Little raise to the eyebrow by elbow by Daniel Johnson. I'll get there in the end.
Well, and they've gone to what you were talking about too, with Hodgson and the big fella playing together. So playing that zone, big front line now with the 3 guards.
Maybe the most passionate, excitable bench player in the league. Jack McVeigh steps in for his first time.
And that means that every Adelaide player has touched the court in this first quarter, and We talked about maybe junking up, switching it up a little bit. That's one way to do it.
Back to this zone. Braun turned down the three. He's able to use the dribble to get inside. Gives it to Hudson. He teases for a split second. Little reverse layup. And Brisbane lead. With a minute to go in this period. First bucket for Hodgson.
And I like that from Braun too. Didn't spray it up. Got a little up fake. Got himself to the paint. Great extra pass.
Here's Griffin. Guarded by Hodgson at the other end. Oh, that's an offensive foul. Wave the bucket away. Can't drop the head. You're going to barrel over someone, Peter Hawley. You've got to try and maybe not do it right in front of the referee.
Is he serious? He's arguing about that.
In his first face up there, and he made a little bit of space. He shot that pretty consistently on Monday night. I don't know why he's trying to pull one over on the refs there, because that's a charge 99 times out of 100.
Here's Braun. Great inside. Magnay gets a little bump. Couldn't finish it with the left. And now be Randall. 2-for-1 opportunity, and he takes it. That's off the iron. Griffin grabbed by Magnay, so it'll stay with Adelaide.
And Taylor Braun, he's done a great job with his assist-to-turnover ratio. He's got 2 assists tonight, no turnovers. Plays with a lot of poise. 26 assists for only 4 turnovers is incredible for a 3-man. So, you know, when we talk about changing imports and whether they're the right fit, I think both Braun and EJ Singler are good players. Just that they're not necessarily the right fit when you put them into the game and then you necessarily lose Tarangi and Glidden, when potentially they could do with some other roles.
Griffin at the foul line to try and end a 9-0 Brisbane run. And the Burgers, the Hungry Jacks Burgers, as the Armoury crowd starts to fire up on the horizon here is Griffin. We'll try and break their hearts. 2.3 rebounds early tonight for Griffin in his first quarter. Had 22 and 6 boards in their win back in round 3 over the Bullets. No Hungry Jacks Burgers this time. We're all tied at 27. 8-second differential between the shot and game clock. Hodgson a long way from where he does his best work. Kadee, shot clock at 8. Guarded by McVeigh. Wants to work him off the dribble. Thought about it. Braun, exact same place he went last time. This time he's going to try and get a bailout. Shot clock's at 2. Kadee's just going to let it fly. Hard off the iron and into the first row. And Adelaide will have 7.6 seconds to end this quarter in front. Jerome Randall looks to get a running start. 4 and 3 off the Griffin screen, gets all the way to the bucket, flips it up almost off the roof, draws nothing but air, and that ends a very entertaining first period here at the Armoury. We are all tied at 27. Second period right around the corner, and what has been a high-scoring affair. We'll be back at that next. At 27. Shane Hill, entertaining first quarter, and one that spits and spurts for both teams.
Well, it has been, and the Adelaide 36ers started off on fire and got their transition game going, and Brisbane finally got a few stops and was able to get a few of their own as well, but no one's in any sort of rhythm for the Brisbane Bullets at the moment. As Jack McVeigh lets one rip.
Johnson couldn't clean it up, and we see Peter Hawley, we spoke about junking it up defensively for Adelaide. Brisbane, as you suggested, come out in the zone.
And that's what they do, and that's what Lamanis has had a lot of success in over the years. And you see different things like running double teams at random times, and it depends who the personnel he has on the floor. I think he gives freedom for guys to kind of make those decisions themselves as well, but no surprise to see him start like that.
Griffin tries to take Braun off the dribble, lost the handle. Now Braun will run the other way. Look left, gave it Singler right. Couldn't finish it. Lamar Patterson, easy rebound now. Great pass. Singler backed it up, followed his own ball. Patterson gave it to him and puts Brisbane back in front.
Great poise from Patterson. Looking around, nice little pocket pass. And Singler's been active tonight. 8 points already.
Well, Griffin loses it for the second straight possession. Now we'll push through Singler. Braun, and they wait for the cavalry, and now the Bullets will try and reset. All NBL first team last year. Lamar passing it all the way to the bucket. Jack McVeigh was riding his hip. T stepped in a little late, but it'll be the hand check of McVeigh. Lamar Patterson to the line for 2.
And on that Griffin turnover again and back-to-back ones, he played really well. As you said, he got a little slap on the nose and had to go to start off the bench on Monday night. But he played really well in that role, and I think he came on in against a different lineup. Maybe Randall was sitting a few times, Daniel Johnson. So it's a bit of a surprise to see him thrown straight back in after one game. I think it really suited him to come off the bench, whether he does it for the next couple of games to get his confidence back up. But as you see there, he forced it a couple of times, but that's why I'm not a coach, I guess.
And I like that from Andre Lamanis, though, because we know that Adelaide don't want to shoot a whole lot of threes. But so getting into that zone, clogging it up, and people like Griffin don't feel as comfortable when they don't have the amount of space they need around them.
Lamar Patterson up to 6, 4-point lead. His tees tries to penetrate into the zone, has to kick it out, and Randall will to Drimick. Shot clock at 5. Little no-look pass there. Shea goes baseline, who's just come in for Griffin. And he's able to get it home. He's got 4. The thing too with Griffin, boys, he's not a really natural-born scorer. So with a starter, he probably feels the pressure to have to do that. Well, off the bench, he can play a slightly different role. And while he can score, it's more the chunk-it-up score, as you see Braun step back and find nothing but net. And that's what I think why it works so well on Monday.
Well, I think it is, and I think there's those certain guys who they can play really well with other guys on the team, and it's all about finding those right combinations. But just to see him on Monday night come off and have that freedom to be able to be a scorer in that lineup. So I liked him in that role, and hopefully he can find a time in this game to make sure he can do that as well.
Singlet left wide open in the end. Touching over the top of Daniel Johnson, referee all over it.
I think the other thing for Griffin, he's not the sort of scorer you're going to throw him the ball and say, go get us a basket, but he's relying on his teammates, particularly against this zone. The last basket they got, because there was penetration from the top, they were able to get the defense in rotations, ended up getting Che to the basket for an easy one, so they have to continue to be able to play that style.
See a timeout. Just over 2 minutes into this 4-point lead for Brisbane. And they've got another game this weekend as well. They play Sunday and they go to Melbourne United. And what is a very packed City round. We're going to look at the fixture, but it's slightly delayed. Here it is. Right, there we go. Phoenix and Kings tomorrow night. What a huge doubleheader. And then the Taipans and the Wildcats. United and Bullets on Sunday, followed by the 36ers and Breakers on Monday night. Illawarra and Cairns. Hammer, nice weekend of hoops.
Certainly is. Well, Melbourne United against Brisbane, for me, is the only one where you could really just give them a tick already. Everything else, I reckon, can go either way, a little bit like tonight's game. So, Sydney Kings, they need a big one, and South East Melbourne, can they bounce back?
I think South East, that game's going to be huge against the Kings, and they did one game well where they bounced back. They got smacked by Perth, came back and really bounced back well. They had an off weekend last weekend. How are they going to respond tomorrow, and what kind of better challenge than against the Sydney Kings?
They looked flat on Monday night. They got outworked for the first time this year, and it might have been the letdown of the throwdown and how close they came and how big the game was. But for the first time, they got outworked. And listen to Simon Mitchell on radio yesterday in Melbourne. I have a feeling they've had a pretty interesting week on the tracks. I don't think being outworked tomorrow night is going to be a concern.
Well, they have to win these games at home because we know they're going to have a horrendous stretch when they go on the road. And they haven't been able to tick the boxes on the road in the one chance they've had.
As they break behind Jerome Randall, a little bit of full court pressure, and then he was able to find Tees wide open for 3, and he hits his first 3 of the night.
Season
leads back
high.
to 1.
9 points.
Imagine he had it started. Braun finds Patterson on the weak side, right in front of the Brisbane bench, and he replies to Tees 3. That leads back to 4. He's up to 9. Randall, a little skip to Malou. Wow. Kisses it off the window, and his scoring continues.
Bit of depth in that floater. Kisses it off the glass too, Jerome Randall.
First man into double figures tonight, Jerome Randall. He's got 10. Singler, he's had a good night. That's how he almost started. Now he kicks it outside. Braun for 3. Rattles at home. Same place as Patterson, same result. 5 points for Taylor Braun. And it's a 5-point lead.
You've got to give credit to EJ Singler there, and he's just come in and been really aggressive, turning the corner strong and really making sure that he's putting heat on the rim, and it's a great hook pass, and Taylor Braun playing with some good confidence.
As Drimick throws it away, let's go courtside, Jeff Van Groningen.
Picker, over the other side of the basket, don't run.
That's an awesome pass. Really nice find.
We might try and get back to Jeff in a split second. 5-point lead for Brisbane, biggest of the night for the Bullets, and they'll try and extend on it. As Vicona comes in, picks up his dribble. They're able to get it over somehow, and now Braun just throws a shocking pass. Looks like a slam dunk. Throw it off your glass to yourself. There's Randall the other end, just pushes it straight to Patterson. And it's back to 3.
And we were pumping up Taylor Braun for his great decision-making that time. It just got away from him a little bit and just fuels that transition from the Adelaide 36ers.
Randall's got 12. Sobey couldn't find it inside, and now Adelaide will push again. Here's Randall. Drimick for 3. Hard off the iron, falls into the hands of Vicona, and now Sobey will push the other way, the boomer. Mid-play tees. Finds Braun. This one he half thought about, turns it down inside to Hodgson, who, like a hot potato, couldn't quite hold on to it, and it will stay again with Adelaide to go the other way.
Yeah, look, they look just a little bit out of sorts right now, and you can see that at least they're trying to be aggressive and stuff, but you got to make the easy one at times, and the one before that, Sobey just tried to force something down the lane, but you got to give credit to the Sixers defense right now,
and
too.
that's the evolution of Sobey. And so his man was open cutting to the basket, but he wasn't reading the rotations. He really needed a pass fake. The man was open in the opposite corner, and when you're a point guard like that, you're reading what the defense is doing, where the rotations are coming from, and where you can penalise them with threes.
Drimick right back at it, ties it up at 39. 5 straight for Adelaide. Hodgson. Here is Sobey, guarded by Randall. Takes a little bucket, all the way to the bucket, lays it in. Nathan Sobey and his former teammates, he's up to 10 as well.
And that's where he's really tough to guard, when he turns that corner really well off the screen and puts his head down, and that guy he's the best 3-second substitution I've seen so far this season. He has started on fire, 11 points, a chance to make it 12.
Well, he had a top score of 4 points so far in this season, so putting on a little bit of a show for his family up there in Brisbane.
And this is what Adelaide have the ability to do, or Joey Wright has the ability to do with his team, but they need to do have guys come off the bench or stand up. It doesn't have to do it every week, but they need these guys to come in to play well. Not always career nights, but like Drimick played unbelievably well on Monday night, had 22. Tonight it's tees as he puts Adelaide back in front, and Joey Wright does an amazing job to install an incredible amount of confidence in you as a player.
Well, he doesn't ever do anything outside his capabilities, Brendan Tees. That's why he earns the trust from Joey Wright. And he has to be able to knock down shots, corner threes, when they rotate off him and put more pressure on the Stars.
Randall pushing. Cross-court tees. But he's going to heat check it to give it to Drimick. Gets inside, just lobs it up to Griffin. He'll go to foul line for 2. 12 points for Brendan Tees tonight. He had 13 in the first 9 games combined.
And yeah, look, Ham, I think you said, and Joey Wright's the kind of coach that he's going to give you chances, and it's up to you to take him. And if you take him, he's going to give you that trust. He'll let you keep rolling, and he threw Tees into the starting lineup on Monday and didn't score a lot, but it helped him get off to a right start. So then he has the trust in him to say, you know what, he leashes a little bit longer tonight, and he's playing really well now. The next game is a little bit longer again, so he's going to give their roster chances. It's just whether they can take him.
Well, and he adds value without scoring. So that's how he gets his minutes from Joey Wright, because he needs to be able to get stops. He's tough. He doesn't do things he can't do, but from the defensive side, he's a really good complement.
First one's down. He's up to 4. You at some point, being a South Australian, would have done a pre-season or some type of training with 36ers, did you ever?
I did before I went to college with Marty Clark, so I was the pre-Joey Wright era. So I was with Daniel Johnson was probably the only one who was still there.
Griffin nails both. The lead's out to 3.
Nathan Sobey came off that on-ball before, was outstanding. I'm surprised they don't try and put DJ into more on-ball screens and allow Sobey to use his athleticism, ability not just to score, but also loosen the defense and create for his teammates too.
They tried it a bit there. He gave it a single of those, able to jump hook, running jump hook, couldn't get it to fall over Griffin. Drimick right at Magnay. Now he'll dribble out. Guarded by Magnay. Now Griffin just grabbed by Glidden. Referee said play on. Didn't matter. He was able to half fade away, kiss it off the glass, and that lead, which was 5 for Brisbane, Only a couple of moments ago is now 5 for Adelaide. And Andre Lamanis wants to talk about it. And now Eric Griffin's starting to feel a little bit better. And Anthony Drimmick, 6 assists here halfway through the second quarter. And Joey Wright will be happy. Probably not happy as possibly Joey Wright gets. Let's have a listen.
Taylor Braun is going to go, is it Taylor? Singular. He's going to go right hard. Gap him a little bit, make him go the other way. Go to his left, all right? Go to his left. Hey, coming out of this, we're blacking. We're blacking this, coming out of this, all right? Blacking the on ball, coming out of this. All of them, all right? All of them. Now, protect with the other big. So, you know who's the other big? The big fella's in there, right? The other big protect. The other big protect at the rim.
Man the whole time, man?
No.
12 on a man.
I want man the whole time. Man.
Magnate in.
We go right there.
No, they're in it. They're in black. They're in black.
What's the three? We stand in it no matter what.
That's sort of being confused as into who might be in the game. And Joey Wright wants him to stay in that man as well, which has worked at different times to get him back in this game as well in the last couple of minutes.
Well, it's just been a game of momentum, hasn't it, for both teams, really? Breaking down at the defensive end and then getting hot at the offensive end as well. First team to really knuckle down. Give themselves a chance.
Glidden. Dumped inside Magnate. Great pass. Sobey for 3. Got it. He's got 13. You spoke earlier about Will Magnate and his ability to do a number of things, Hammer, and to be able to find a pass like that at his height and his age, that's incredibly impressive.
Great vision, really, wasn't it? And the ability to be able to execute it as well.
As Griffin goes the other end. And after we spoke about him not being a natural scorer, he slammed on a big second quarter. He's up to 10.
And you look, and Jerome Randall's sitting down right now, who's a ball-dominant player, so it gives him that chance to try and hunt his shot a little bit more, and he's doing that pretty successfully.
He was 3 from 17, as we see Sobey go bang again. He's feeling it, and the Bullets need it. But Griffin was 3 from 17 from the three-point line before that shot.
Didn't look like it with how confidently he stepped into that one.
Yeah, that's one where you're standing off and you say, mate, you can shoot that.
Ramon Moore. Can't get it to Johnson. Gives it to Drimmick for 3. Short. Now Kadee will push. Semi-transition for Brisbane. Kadee says, I'll shoot it. Hard off the iron. Glynn will think about it. They'll reset. Sobey, long way from the bucket. Shot clock at 5. 4. Crosses over Tees. Gets inside. Stops on a dime. Takes a little bump. Tees disagrees. Vaughan Mayberry saying it was on the arm, and the end result is that Nathan Sobey will go to the foul line to try and extend on his 13 points.
And since they had that timeout and they went back to a man, I think they can't really stay in front of anybody right now. They were looking good in a zone because they were moving together in that zone defense and making it hard for the Brisbane Bullets. But when they've gone to man, they tried a little double team. It didn't really work. Brisbane are just putting their head down and going through guys. So that's why we're going to have such a high-scoring game at this moment.
Sobey, a big first half, as you see there, 16. Now 17 against his former team.
Cam Glidden taking his seat now. He's got 3 points. You see that ball come out to him at the three-point line. He had a sniff of it. That's a shot he has to be able to knock down. He's playing with no confidence at the moment. He's had 7 straight games in single digits. And this guy's a star. Just lost his confidence and hasn't found a way that he can contribute with so many players playing a similar role.
And that's a shot we've seen him take almost his entire NBL career.
No doubt.
Until now, coming off a World Cup campaign for the national team, which makes it even more confusing at times.
Well, he averaged 14 points a game last year. This year, 6 points per game. So it's been a tough run for him so far this year.
Big doubleheader tomorrow night. We can't wait for it. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix hosting the Sydney Kings. And then the big one to make a double Saturday night doubleheader from 5:30. Casper Ware back in Melbourne, not against his old team, but that's going to be a fun battle.
This will be an epic battle. These two guys can flat out go, and I'm looking forward to John Roberson doesn't back down from any challenge, hasn't so far this year, and what a big challenge to go up against Casper Ware.
And then from 8 p.m, Scotty Machado leading the league in assists, taking on Bryce Cotton, who is probably, Hammer, leading the MVP rankings right now.
Yeah, probably. Not a lot of people to be able to take votes off him, but also without Tariko White, I believe, too. So big chance for Cairns in far north Queensland. If they come with the mindset that they did last week against Brisbane, not the one the week before against the Hawks, they are a legitimate chance to win that game.
Trevor Gleeson spoke today and was asked a question around the Boomers, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said that he'd love to see 2 of his Wildcats be next year at the Olympic Games. Of course, Nick Cahill was brilliant at the World Cup, and Bryce Cotton, who's trying to become naturalised, I believe. So that would be an interesting watch, regardless of who the coach is, because we still wait for the confirmation.
Yeah, well, he really is a star, isn't he? But there's a lot of talent in the guard positions as well. And, you know, you think of some of those guards to come back in the lineup, guys like Ryan Brockhoff, that wasn't at the World Cup as well, NBA player. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to with the Boomers.
And on Brockhoff as well, yesterday in a pretty big win for Dallas. Came in, hit some threes late, so a good week to actually prove and show to everyone that he can still stroke it.
Oh, no doubt. And not only that, he can defend as well. He's been a great international player for a long time and service to the Boomers for a long time as well. So no doubt he will get his position straight back.
Just joining us, kick-starting City round. It was an 8-point lead early for Adelaide, all knotted up at 30 after 1. And Brisbane got out to a 5-point lead. They're all tied up at 49. At the Armour on a Friday night, 2 teams with a 4 and 5 records, identical records, trying to keep in touch with the top 4. Here's Dremic inside.
Oh, my goodness. Speaking of confidence.
Oh, wow. That's a great take from him. Being able to rip through like that. Thought he was just going to go a little same hand, same foot. No siree.
11 points for Dremic and a career-high 6 assists in the first half. He's having a hell of a night as Brisbane keep it alive to Sobey. He is feeling it tonight, Nathan Sobey.
And a great heads-up play from Jason Kadee. Extra pass to the corner, recognising that Sobey's the man with a hot hand.
Griffin probably should have shot it. Now the last one, the hesitation cost him a travel, and now Brisbane will go the other way, but 21 points for Nathan Sobey.
He's been terrific, and he's just absolutely feeling it from outside, and he's not second-guessing himself, unlike Griffin on that one. He just knows that right now, anything he puts up has a great chance of going in, and needs a little bit more help as well to try and get this little margin going, but I think right now he is really about ready to take over this game.
Magnay will hand off to that man Sobey, who's had a ripping first half. Thought about it. This time Singler, extra pass. On the end of it is Kadee.
Great ball movement from the Brisbane Bullets. Penetration from Sobey. He got off it. Singler got off it. Jason Kadee made a great pass the time before. That time dropped the 3.
Not sure if there's a lax or a weakness in the defence of Adelaide from that side of the court, but that's 6 threes from that particular spot for Adelaide, for Brisbane already tonight, as Griffin gets fouled but pulls on the rim, and it's called an offensive goaltend, and then slaps Taylor Braun as he walks past.
What was that?
I don't know what that was. It was interesting. He gave away that unsportsmanlike last Friday night against the Wildcats when he just slapped.
He literally slapped him.
Perth players right in the gut, so the referee must have missed it. I just thought I'd go in their way. Taylor Braun didn't seem too fast. Sobey again in that position. This time gets all the way to the bucket, but loses it at a crucial moment. Hudson dives on it. Froley dives on top of him. Dremic dives on top of him, and we'll see a possession arrow situation.
Looked like Sobey was driving then as a passer. Didn't realise that had the opportunity just to be able to put it in off the board, but I love that first step from Sobey. When he's in this aggressive mindset, I love to see him say, okay, this is my night, the team needs it, and I'm going to go make some things happen now. And that doesn't always mean to score. An aggressive mindset to be able to put pressure on the paint like that can also get the team in rotations and get his teammates going too.
And we have a look at this right here. No one saw it. Not at Magnay, definitely didn't see it coming, but that is sneaky bounce. Oh my. And that's freshman year Boise State Dremic right there. That's pre a couple of injuries. He used to have that consistently in his game. But Hammer, go back to Sobey and how he's feeling it right now. As a man who used to feel it pretty consistently from deep, how big of a gap do you need to be open right now if you're 5 or 7 for 3 to let it fly?
Well, when you're 5 for 7 in this first half, 21 points, I'm saying now is the time you put the foot on the throttle. You've got to go make things happen. And it doesn't mean you've got to force them up, but again, that mindset of just being aggressive to make plays when you're feeling good about yourself, and the team needs it. He's their franchise player. Opportunity now to be able to show everybody in Brisbane why he was such a critical recruit in the off-season.
Harry Froling now third personal as he bumps Sobey about 25 feet from the basket.
And I think this goes more to the point of him being a two-man to start this game that had Kadee come in to start the point. Gives him that chance to be that true shooting guard. And right now he's relishing that opportunity.
Well, and I think in this day and age of basketball, the two men can all use on balls as well. So you want to be able to use players that, you know, have multi-skills, and he's certainly that sort of player that can defend and play off the dribble.
Singler inside the Hodgson, great pass. Ramon Moore, hand caught in the cookie jar, and Hodgson will go to the foul line for two. As great as Sobey is playing, and he is, EJ Singler, you've mentioned him a couple of times, Hammer. Great pass again there. He has, and under that pressure and that always conversation about being stacked at a particular spot, they have to play well, and he's a guy who's done it tonight.
Well, he's been aggressive tonight, hasn't he? He's always been looking to pull through, get himself to the basket. He's made 4 baskets getting into the paint. He's got 3 assists, 0 turnovers. But back to Sobey, you've seen him. I remember a game earlier this year, he had 15 points against the Illawarra Hawks, 5 threes, but finished with like 17 points. This is an opportunity for him to say, yep, I'm here, I'm going to make something happen right now because my team needs it.
Fletcher nails the second, lead is 4. We're in the changes, 37 seconds to go. Ramon Moore will take a seat. Tees guarded by Kadee. A little bit of push and a shove here. Tees pushes away Kadee.
This way.
I love this too, because now with the review system and the cameras, every single person in the stadium is motioning to check the camera. I love it. What I'd like to see, Hammer, and hopefully it does happen, is that the referees just move play on. There's no harm, no foul, was it?
No. It was like that slap before from Griffin. It was nothing. Let's go. Let's play.
Good fight. So
Surely
do you
we're not
actually have
looking at this.
a foul call on tees?
No, it's informal like that after on tees. I want to see.
Is it an unsportsmanlike? Is that what you're calling?
Yeah, we're going to see that it push him over with the left arm.
Yes.
And I want to see if there is anything from Kadee. Did you have anything?
Kadee hits the ball. Kadee hits the ball.
All right.
And is it worthy of a double technical?
Okay, let's go.
Is it worthy of a double technical foul?
What potentially? Let's have a look.
With the referees there conferring, looks like it'll be. Keeping in mind the whole play started with Jason Kadee with a reach-in foul on Brendan Tees as we have a look.
Oh, seriously.
Yours, Hammer.
My kids have been more physical and been more undisciplined, my girls growing up, than that. Come on.
The big thing with this is the unsportsmanlike foul, which this isn't exactly what has been the one that's raised the conversation, but it's meant to speed up the game. And I actually understand, Liam Santamaria wrote a really good article about it a couple of weeks ago, and he explained it, and I can see where that's coming from. But this slows the amount of time that the game is stopped to actually look at what happened, what might not happen, and all the rest of it, slows the game down and actually defeats the purpose of why bring the rule in.
It does, and let me add a little lighter note to this. We've spoken about this before. If we want to cut down a little bit of the time, can we have just the laptop lifted up and turned around so that referees don't have to walk all the way around? Just lift up the laptop, turn it around, let them go straight there. This right here.
We're looking at Kadee do that and Tees do that.
Yes, that's
yes. What we're looking at.
Well, I'm looking at the same thing as you, Hammer, so I'm assuming so. Yes.
Because Jason, you go around and you tap the ball. Hit the ball. It's not illegal. No, you initiate something to technical foul. When do I initiate an elbow to the throw? There you go.
So the unsportsmanlike, which was spoken about for a split second, is not there. It's a foul on Kadee, which was the start. And then it was a double technical One for slapping the ball from Jason Cadee, and then Brendan Tees.
Is that a slap?
I'm just saying what the referee said.
I was just checking whether you thought it was a slap.
No, I don't believe that should have just
That's
been
a little tap.
That should have been straight play on, and we could have been playing a minute ago. We should be in half-time by now. Either way, Randall behind the back. Drimmick, who's had a great first half, takes a bump and one, and he continues to have a big week. Started on Monday night when he had 21 in Melbourne against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and continuing tonight.
And this is what we expected from Drimmick when he came back from Boise, but he hasn't really lived up to being able to do that consistently. And I know you spoke about the fact he's had a few injuries and he's been a great shooter, but this sort of mindset as a scorer is what he's always been capable of.
He has, and I think it's the difference now that we know he was a great shooter and he's started to add this consistently to his game, and I think that's come from the confidence he's brought through other areas, and obviously now he's as a second-year starter, he's been able to really lift it, but he just looks like a completely different player when he's attacking off the dribble.
And for Adelaide, that's exactly what Adelaide need, is just another prong to their attack beside Randall as well.
He missed it. Griffin kept it alive. But we jump ball. Possession will go to Adelaide. With just under an 8-second differential between the game and shot clock. Brisbane will get another crack at this first half to score. As we have a look at the missed foul shot, Griffin sneaks up behind and Hodgson suggesting that Griffin didn't have the ball, he was just sitting on the back. Either way, possession arrow will go to Adelaide, and Tees, who's had a huge night as well, will reset. Here is Drimmick, guarded by Cadee and Randall. Adelaide will reset for their last shot, you'd assume, in the first half. Randall, hesitation, dribble for three off the left. Never looked like it. Sobey with the rebound, plenty of time. Pushes it, Hodgson, Randall slaps it, got him on the wrist. And Hodgson will go to the foul line for a couple to try and extend this Brisbane lead as we near half-time.
It's an interesting one there. Obviously, you have the break, the 2-on-1 with the time and score situation, but you're throwing it to Matt Hodgson, who has had trouble at the free throw line, and you're giving the chance for the Sixers to finish off here with a bucket themselves.
That can only be a guess. That call from the he guessed right, by the way, but the ref that called it was behind Hodgson, and it was impossible for him to actually see it.
Well, luckily, as in Randall just turned around and played along with the game and knew he was on the right one.
He did foul. He did foul, but we now know he has X-ray vision, that referee.
Hodgson, first one's long. First game in NBL20 where both teams have scored 53 by half-time, so high-scoring game here.
Well, the Adelaide 36ers are shooting 61% from the field and find themselves down in this game, which is astonishing.
Three-point lead for Brisbane. He'll take his seat. Vicona will come in. Defensive purposes to win this first half. As Adelaide will have an opportunity. Griffin will inbound. Dillon gonna push. Time against them. 2-1, gets all the way to the bucket, scores! And Daniel Dillon, who's only played spot minutes tonight, ends the first half in the perfect way for the Adelaide 36ers. And that Bullets lead is back to 1. 56. Sobey, Cadee, Singler, Patterson and Hodgson back to the starting five for Adelaide. Tees, Johnson, Randall, Griffin and Drimmick, which was almost a starting five, except Brendan Tees went to the bench. Either way, we're back to a Singler fades away. And he's had a great night tonight, EJ Singler. A little bit of talk around that import spot. And so far, he's delivered. He's up to 10.
Certainly been good. Done it at a high percentage as well, showing the mobility that he's got playing in that 3-4 position. And the advantage they've got, see him defending DJ as well now with the mobility of being able to defend bigs and also be able to defend the pick and roll.
Tees continue his huge night as well. He's up to 14, had only scored 13 in the first 9 games combined. So Brendan Tees taking it and running with it tonight.
Well, you talked about when it's Sobey knows it's his night right now. Tees just playing terrific and do the same thing. Keep playing with that confidence, keep attacking the rim.
Singler Can't get it to Hodgson. Now he does. Shot clock's at 3. He's going to get to work. Going to have to. Oh, he's only late aware of it. Couldn't get the bounce. Daniel Johnson out-muscled Patterson, and now it's Randall the other way. Adelaide trying to take the lead. Nice little hesitation dribble. Couldn't finish it. That's off Patterson's arm. Referee disagrees. And it'll stay with Brisbane.
That's why you don't have a whistle, mate.
Two surprising things to come out of that first half. Brendan Tees picked up an accent, and Jeff Van Groningen fresh ahead. The superstar Charlie Cameron in his halftime interview.
That's going to be shown everywhere.
Oh, my goodness.
Charlie Cameron, though, of course, sporting the City jersey. It does look good, doesn't it? They do a wonderful job with the different designs year in, year out.
Had the guns out too. Pays to advertise.
What are your thoughts on adults wearing the guns out in a singlet? You okay with it?
Oh, no, he's okay. He's fit. He's more older to guys like me that are a bit out of shape. You can't wear the singlet without a T-shirt.
And you're an AFL man as well, so you're never going to shoot down one of the rising stars as Kadee finds himself wide open, can't finish it. Jeremy, career-high 6 assists in the first half, and a huge dunk as well. Come the other way. Johnson, little mismatch on Kadee. Double team came from Hodgson, came from the other way, and then Johnson just missed and blew a gimme. Singler to Patterson. He feels confident, crosses over. Tees just goes straight through him, lays it up, and that's as easy as it comes for the All-NBL first teamer last year.
He is as smooth as they come, and he just never looks out of control, and that was really, really pretty to watch.
Dremick takes a bump on Patterson, and his night continues. He's up to 15. And the coaches and us and everyone called for defense at halftime, and so far the players haven't listened. It's Kadee the other way.
Well, that's just, you cannot leave Jason Kadee open one pass into the offense for a wide open 3. It just shouldn't happen. And both teams need to make this adjustment, understand who they're defending, give a little bit of a gap, and challenge people to be able to make shots over a contested hand.
There's a contested hand. Stop Johnson. Oh, EJ Singler always get the rebound. EJ, nice run out. Now it's Patterson. Oh, just splits the double team. It's all the way to the bucket. And Joey Wright wants to talk about it. That lead is out to 6. And their ability right now, Brisbane's ability to get to the hoop anytime they want, means that Joey Wright will be livid. And the best thing to do in a time like this, Pete Hooley, is always go to the timeout where the coach called it.
Okay?
Let's go to Joey Wright.
If you shoot a shot early with a hand in your face, he's going to come sit next to me, all right? Hey, Teasy, on this wing right here, you don't have to bump off. Just stay. We're matched up around the top. So that's not you, E, on that one. You just kind of want to be right here. That's Teasy. He ain't got to bump across on that. He can just stay. It's just a match up across the top, okay? Just a match up. All right, coming down on this end. We'll get us settled in something, all right? Let's get through elbows all the way through. Elbows all the way through. Run some stuff, control tempo.
Here we go.
All right, let's go. We're all right, let's go. Hey, we're all right, let's go. We're all right.
And that's a good call from Joey Wright. You heard him talking about being able to match up at the start of your zone, and that's what they didn't do. Jason Kadee went to exactly the right spot as a shooter, and you know the opposition's got a zone. You want to get into those grey areas, and the grey areas being right in between the man at the top and the man on the baseline, so they're not quite sure who's got what. That time it was an easy bucket for him.
Well, the dangerous thing right now is Jason Kadee was 0 of 5 from 3 before that one. That one was wide open, and we know how hot he can get and quickly, so not the guy to leave open.
Shea into the game. Brisbane with their biggest lead of the night. They lead by 6. Adelaide led by 8 in the first quarter. Here's Griffin trying to go Singler. Is able to just again. Almost the identical move to one he got in the first half. Shea with the offensive foul, and that's frustrating coming out of a timeout.
They were very stagnant too. Threw the ball in. Everybody was standing on the perimeter there. This Adelaide team, they want to get out in that open court, be able to move players, move the ball, and try and attack quickly.
I think on Griffin, as you said before, he's at his best when he's picking and rolling or getting those dump-offs and stuff, not when you throw it down to him to go one-on-one. He took that from the three-point line into a two-move post-up, and that's where you get the turnover.
Singler guarded by Shea. Good cross-court pass. Patterson for three. Can't finish. Griffin and Shea fight for it, and Griffin wins out. 5 boards for Griffin. Here's Randall. Guarded by Sowie. Wow, for three. Shea probably not with Joey Wright, the shot that he wanted. Patterson, little hesitation, gets way inside, stepped across. Was Drimmick. Referee said play on. Might have been in a restricted area. He's a little shaken right now. Is Anthony Drimmick, who's had a huge night so far.
No charge.
And look, you'd probably think it'd be easy to take a charge on Lamar Patterson because he doesn't move all too quick, but he's just so silky smooth with his movements.
See, that's a tough call, right? The referee then said he's in the no charge zone, which he's clearly not, as we see right there.
But I think the better thing is he was moving across into the, as soon as Lamar left his feet and he moved across, got hit square in the chest.
Then that's a blocking foul then, isn't it?
Right. You're exactly right.
So that's just sometimes a little bit where the frustration comes from players' inconsistency. Because there's some frustration around that. I suppose you go down the other end and it's not called.
A couple of things with this Adelaide 36er lineup. Harry Frolling's only played 2 minutes. He got 2 quick fouls, but we haven't seen him again. And Daniel Johnson as well. Only 2 points tonight. Really need to see him out there making things happen as well.
Randall lost the handles, able to hold on to it though. Shot clock's at 4, and this looks not good at all as Sovic grabbing his right towards the ankle area.
Why is that game stopped though?
I don't know. We'll have a look at the replay. So Randall. Can we have a look?
Yeah, just rolled that right ankle. And again, you know, we don't want to see anyone get injured. We want to make sure that Sovi's looked after. But you can't stop the game mid-play when the Adelaide 36ers are about to try and score.
Nathan Sobey takes a seat. Yet to take a shot in the third quarter. Had 21 and a half. Joey Wright asking exactly what is going on, why that was stopped. The referee said it doesn't matter, and either way, the shot clock's at 14. So they got a reset of the shot clock that they were low on, but here's Randall. Glidden come in for Sobey. Dylan scored right on halftime. Here's Tees. Oh, a little floater. Oh, my.
Where's he been hiding this?
It's got to be the accent, right? It's got to be the accent we heard at half-time. He's a new man.
He is.
He's an import, is he?
He's playing like one right now.
He certainly is.
Inside Ejason. That's going to count. I think they're going to check the review to see. We look at... Tees has 16. I don't want to ram home the point, but he had 13 points in the first 9 combined. The first 9 games combined. So, 1 out of the box. And that, him and Drimmy is a little bit of as to why Daniel Johnson isn't getting to look in offensively as well.
Well, yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I think the fact they're playing Che a little bit more, Griffin, I'm not sure that you can play those guys instead of DJ, who has really been such a great player, not only this season, having almost a career year, or at least the best year he's had in the last 5 or 6 years, and following with 3 fouls, is it?
First one missed by Singler.
We spoke about Eric Griffin not being able to throw it down. DJ's one of those guys who has a lot of success when you throw it down to him on the low block because he plays like a guard down there. He's really crafty, can hit that fadeaway. So they did it once, I think, at the start, and he missed that bunny of this half. But they haven't really done it much the last couple of games.
Tees, as confident maybe as you've ever seen him in the NBL. Had a huge night, 16, drops it inside. Griffin just powers up, little jump hook. And it's back to 2 halfway through this third period. And Tees hasn't scored 16 in a game since 2015. Patterson, bumped by Shea. Now Adelaide will run. Little 3-on-2. Randall doesn't wait for the troops. Goes all the way with the floater. We're tied at 65.
It's a game of runs. We've spoken about it exactly the same as the first half. One team gets going, gets a lead. And they put the cue in the rack. Turnover, Lamar Patterson.
And your pet Hay standing on the sideline, Shane Hill.
Well, it is. I mean, you've got to get your footwork right where you're prepared to get your catch, and your first step can't be behind to be able to take off. It has to be forward, and that's what you practice over and over and over again, thousands of times outside a game.
We see Nathan Sobey back on the bench, so hopefully that little tweak to the ankle is just a minor one, and we'll see him back on the court shortly. 21 points for Nathan Sobey, all scored in the first half. We're tied at 65. Randall, guarded by Braun, crosses him over, gets inside, little ball fake all the way to the bucket. And this time it'll be Andre Lamanis, a 6-0 run for Adelaide. 16 points for Jerome Randall, and I'd say it's going to be Andre Lamanis finding out what's going on. 8-0 run, I apologise. Shane Heel, who is on top of that. Either way, it is a run right now that has Adelaide back in front.
Yeah, and timeout came probably a little bit late because you could feel that momentum going straight back to the Adelaide 36ers.
21 points in the first half for Nathan Sobey, and he was doing it from everywhere, including beyond the arc, 5 times.
He was, and he was terrific, and he got a lot of little open ones first, but we spoke about how good he is when he turns the corner off that on ball. And he's just such a good decision maker. He's got a great little floater, great little touch on that nice little tough layup. But when he's knocking them down consistently from out there, he's really tough to guard. But right now, with his little injury cloud, someone's going to have to step up for the Brisbane Bullets.
Now, when he's shooting the three so well, you talk about him turning the corner. It has defenders, if he's coming off a screen, ball screen, or really any screen, it has defenders nervous because he can turn the corner so fast and get to the ring.
Well, and that's just the mindset. You know, he's got to use those on balls to be able to make things happen. You read the defense, and whether that's being able to pull up or whether it's being able to create a mismatch and attack that big if they're switching. And I just love him when he's in an aggressive frame of mind. Still only taken 9 field goal attempts tonight. Looks like he tweaked his ankle. Needs to get that restrapped and get back out there.
67-65, 8 straight points for the 76ers. Has him back in front. Here's Braun. And Peter Hawley, yeah, you mentioned it at half-time. That first half, they were so much more successful in the zone, Adelaide, and have stayed in it all this quarter.
And they have, and that's where they're starting to get their stops in. And with Sobey out, someone from the Bullets has to step up, and they have to get a nice play in.
Singlet takes the bump from Dillon.
He's done that from the start of the game. He just looks like he's come in and said, you know what? They've thrown me in the starting lineup. I'm going to play how I played in the New Zealand Basketball League, and I'm a scorer.
He's like a herky-jerky type of player as well, so he wouldn't be overly easy to guard, in particular with that, almost that exact move he did there. We've seen it 4 or 5 times now. A couple of times it's gone up and put heat on the rim, but he's also got the ability to make that pass.
No, he's been great tonight. I mean, he's really played with that sort of confidence, up to 13 points tonight. 5 assists and 0 turnovers from that position has been impressive as well.
Career high was 10, it's now 13. First year in the NBL for EJ Singler. Here's Randall, guarded by that man, pulls the trigger for 3, rattled in and out, Braun with the rebound. Shea comes over the top and hits him on the shoulder.
And I know EJ Singler had threw him in before after the zone kind of broke down, but this is the time with Sobey. I'd love to see them. Let's get Cam Glidden going. He hit 1 3, but let's try and get him open a couple more times, and whether you can have success offsetting that top pick on the ball screen. And
so I don't get this.
Yeah, you can see it on your face.
But Singler's starting to roll, and now you put in Tarangi, which stops the opportunity for him to be able to continue on his roll. And right now, like, Tarangi's only played a couple of minutes.
All in the first quarter, so he sat there for the better part of 2 quarters now.
He's played 2 minutes 26, so he's coming in cold. Difficult for him to be able to make it happen when we've spoken about EJ Singler. 13 points, he's got 5 assists, 0 turnovers. He's starting to feel good about himself, and this is where sometimes I think that we over-sub in the NBL, rather than riding the players that have got momentum and starting to feel good about themselves and seeing how far they can push that to be able to help their team.
Well, you two are upset. I'm pretty sure that EJ Singler's probably not too happy about that as well after you start to roll.
And he's a guy, if you look at the 5 that's on the court now, he's the guy that is the aggressor. No Nathan Sobey, and he's stepped up in that breach at different times. So now it's going to be on Cam Glidden really to almost break out of his mini slumpies in this year to actually be the aggressor in this fight.
But that's not his game.
No,
he doesn't play with an aggressive mindset anyway. He's shooting open threes, particularly when his confidence is down. He's relying on other people.
Maybe they just need Brendan Teagues, who is having a career night. He's up to 18, 8 of 9 from the field. They can't stop him.
That is impressive. He's putting on a show for all those people up there in Southwest where he played his basketball. Sure, there's a lot of people there tonight being able to watch him in fine form.
And for people who might have joined us late, he thought he was going to start. The game was about to start. He came off, Obi Shea was put on, and then at the first break, which was 3 seconds into the game, he was reintroduced onto the court. So it was a weird situation, but it's worked.
Well, it has worked, and Joey the Wright's the kind of guy that if something works, do it again. So if he does it next game, we know he's found something that makes Brendan Tees into an elite scorer.
Looking forward to the game against the Breakers on Sunday as Magnay hits the first.
Well, incredible to think that between Brendan Tees and Dremick, they've got 33 points, but more so the fact that they are 14 from 17 from the field. And they're down.
And they're not taking easy shots. They're not taking bad shots. But even that last one isn't a, I'm just wide open, so I've got to shoot it. He was off the dribble, pull up, little fade away from 18 foot.
Well, he's started to roll now, so he's kind of got the freedom and confidence to do so. And
well, at 8 from 9, I'd be disappointed if he didn't.
We need a heat check. Do we need a heat check here from Brendan Tees?
Well, you're asking the wrong bloke.
Yeah, no, you're right.
All right.
He needs to go get the ball and call an on-ball screen, just let it fly. Here he does come off weak side, couldn't get it. Now Tremone Moore. Met by Tarangi. Left-hand dribble, little fade away, no good. Shea had it for a split second. Falls into the hand of Braun and Brisbane. Going to try and extend his lead, which is a 2 here at the Armoury. Glidden. Great D by Daniel Dillon. Going a little pick and roll to Magnay.
Oh, my.
I think it was fouled by Moore, then Griffin come over the top. Either way, the aggression had to be stopped with a hard foul, and now he'll find himself at the line for 2.
But good play from Cam Glidden. Again, using that on ball, being aggressive. Great little pocket pass there to be able to get the rolling Magnay into that. And, wow, he was going to get nasty with that.
I reckon he might have had it with the two-hander. He kind of switched to the one to really punch it home. And to be fair, I caught a preseason game when he was throwing him down on absolutely everybody. So he is a very, very good athlete.
Couldn't finish the second. Braun just walks around. Tees picks up the rebound, and another opportunity for Adelaide, for Brisbane to see Sobey come back in. Finds Tarangi for 3. In and out. Shea with the rebound.
Good find from Nathan Sobey there, coming off that little step-up kick. Open man Tarangi, but he's cold.
Daniel Dillon, guarded by Tarangi, runs out of real estate. Now it's inside. Banging, banging, banging. Griffin. Magnay did enough, though. And now Brisbane will push away. Great pass, Braun to Magnay. Just fouled because he's getting so deep, that's all they can do.
And down the other end, that's great defense. And Griffin just putting his head down, trying to bully through him, and just not going anywhere, just cement feet.
Well, and the best thing about Magnay there, he was able to play with his hands straight up in the air. So he was able to go up as well, force Griffin into a tough shot. But then the athleticism to be able to run that middle cylinder down the other end is why he has so much upside.
And it's leading to this. Shea, Tees, Moore, Froling, Randall, all on 3 fouls. No one with more than 2 for Brisbane down the other end. So being aggressive and getting that deep is making it very hard for Joey Wright, who has to keep trying to find players, stalling momentum due to foul restrictions currently on some of his stars. Third straight time he's been 1 of 2 and long arm the second one. This time he's maybe going to get a reprieve.
Well, it's an interesting period right now for the Adelaide 36ers. The only player who's got going so far on the court is Anthony Dremick with 15. The other 4 have 2 points combined. So someone has to step up here for the Sixers in these last 2 minutes.
As he is able to use the reprieve to his advantage, and the lead is now 5. A little bit of pressure up the floor from Brisbane. Dremick sees it off fairly comfortably. 2 men here battling here. Great first pass, but Dremick gets all the way to the bucket. Are they going to count it? They are.
Got to count that. Great aggressive move again from Anthony Dremick. He's good when he's playing with this sort of mindset and not just relying on his 3-point shot. The foul happened a little bit earlier, but I agree the continuation needed to happen. Is there a foul?
Peter Hooley.
Well, that's why I don't ever have a whistle. They're never envious of their job, but it looked like Sobey was a bit upset early, and obviously by reaching the cookie jar. But right now, when you're playing as good as Drimmick and you're being really aggressive, you get those opportunities to have those kind of calls go for you, because you're just putting your head down and you're making things happen. So you've got to give credit to Drimmick in that situation.
Braun, baseline, all nice with the pass. Tarangi was just wide open. Ramon Moore was able to get him clean, according to the referee, but in the end, he ran out of court. Couldn't quite save it, but it will stay with the shot clock at 14 to Brisbane on the baseline. But Peter Hawley, you spoke about it being an interesting period. They've been able to stay in this game and currently only at 2 points down, so they're able to conjure up enough of a run to stay right in it.
Well, they haven't. That's been the story of this whole game so far. One team goes on a mini run, the next team responds, and no team really wants to clamp down with defense for a long period of time, so I feel like that trend's just going to continue.
Patterson tries to drop it to Braun, comes off Ramon Moore.
Good hands from Ramon Moore too. He really saved 2 points for them just because he was active and read the eyes of Patterson.
Hashtag NBL20 to get involved. Join the conversation at NBL. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Patterson just steps back. As casual as you like. Couldn't quite get it to fly. It's going to stay now. Off the Magnay mitt into the third row. And now Adelaide had an opportunity to tie or even take the lead. After Brisbane extended the lead to 6 in the third quarter. But as we near the last 90 seconds, Adelaide right back in it. McVeigh just hands it off to Froling. Foul twice, one by Patterson, one by McNay. We'll see which one the referee gives it to, but either way, McVeigh and Froling, two men who've had at different times, in particular McVeigh, great NBL20s, combining there.
It really was a good little pick and roll. Good read from Jack McVeigh, came out, saw that Froling was going to be open, getting himself to the bucket. And they came from everywhere. That was clean from Magnay, but the foul happened from Patterson earlier.
If I'm Lamar Patterson, I see Magnay. Magnay's got some big scalps and some blocks this year. He's a pretty good athlete. I'm probably letting him go and just saying, you know what, you can really try and go after this one, because he got up there and as you said, that looked pretty clean from Magnay.
Froling nails the first. Foul trouble has slowed him tonight. Can't finish the second. Tarangi with the uncontested rebound. What can Brisbane do against his zone? Oh, no. Oh, McNay as aggressive as you want to be, and you can see that unfolding. And you spoke about his ability to be able to do a lot of different things. As we see, great dive on it. McNay, oh, my goodness. That all started by Tarangi. Oh, his desperation, it falls into McNay's hand. 2 straight dunks. Andre Lamanis as Hodgson goes to check in. That better not be for Magnay, says the whole crowd. Everyone here at NBL20 saying Magnay better not be taking a seat.
Pull him back, please.
Oh, my. That is impressive from the young fella. Just going up against defense and being able to tuck it in. Have a look at that. Straight around on that little screen, finishes it, and 10 seconds later does it again.
Ramon Moore wanted no part of the poster after Froling had stumbled. We'll go the other way.
Well, just no communication on that last play. You see Sobey set a little pick. No communication between the two defensive players from the Adelaide 36ers, but good read from Magnay, kept it alive.
McVeigh for 3, can't get it to fall. Just falls in the hands of Johnson, falls into the hands of Froling, he cleans it up. And Andre Lamanis legitimately just broke the hearts of all NBL20 fans and summoned Magnay to the bench.
I'm hoping please be gassed. I'm hoping he was absolutely gassed and called for it himself.
Mate, there's 30 seconds to go.
I know. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Gassed or not, he's given us 2-hand dunks. And Sobey loses it, falls just to Hodgson. There's still got an opportunity. Shot clock's at 1. Braun knows it. Couldn't get it to fall. Tarangi keeps it alive only for a split second. McVeigh just throws it into the 8th row. This has been an interesting minute and a half full of highlights and lowlights. But now as it sits, Vaughan Maybury will check the time. Currently sits at 1 second. It'll take a
Andre Lamanis'
decent
defence. The Magnay does have 3 fouls, so to be able to get him out at the end of that third quarter isn't a bad thing. Well, he's only scored 2 field goals, Magnay, and they both happen bang, bang like that.
They're going to screen down. Go screen down. Switch it.
Here it is, 1 second. Going to take a Christian Leighton, a Grand Hurl Duke, 1991 play here to get the job done. Peter Hooley wasn't born.
No, I was going to mention that. Thank you.
It's actually not dissimilar, except it went to the other way. They're going to look at it in the end. And Braun leaves it a little bit short. Either way, we've got an entertaining fourth quarter ahead of us. It's the Brisbane blew apart the highlights. And it leads to a 3-point lead as we enter the fourth quarter. Tees, Randall, Froling, Johnson for the Adelaide 36ers and Drimmick. For Brisbane, it's Patterson, Braun, Sobey, Singler, and Hodgson.
And I like this lineup for the Adelaide 36ers now with DJ in, the 2 scorers, great extra pass there. Drimmick and Tees have been playing so well, and then obviously Jerome Randall at the point, back into that little zone now.
20 points for Drimmick, backing up his 22-point effort in the win on Monday night against Phoenix. Patterson guarded by Tees. Singler's been good as well. Now it's Patterson. Deep. Kicks it outside. Braun gave down the extra pass. One on the shot clock. Has to get it up. Left hand. Half scoop finger roll. Able to kiss it off the window. And the Bullets open their account. He's got 9 tonight.
That was actually pretty good 23 seconds of defence by the 36ers. They kept moving around. They passed off guys one into each other, and then they just a really tough finish. But this man right here
not be stopped.
Has that ever been said about Brendan Tees? Now, he's been a good player. Very good player. Great role player. But has anyone ever said that about Brendan Tees? This man cannot be stopped.
Without disrespecting him,
no
disrespect. I'd be surprised.
He's been impressive. 9 from 10.
Yep.
The only fault I've got is he hasn't taken enough shots.
I'm with him. He needs a heat check.
He's got a 20-piece nugget with 9 minutes to go in the fourth.
Here it is.
Have a look at that.
You need to really right now, he needs to waive away Jerome Randall, pick up the ball handling responsibilities, call an on-ball screen up, and just let it fly Shane Heel style. Inside to Singler, too easy. Great pass, Sobey. His career high, I'm getting told, is 23. Oh. That's his second highest ever in his career. And he has 20, and he's still got 8:45 to go. Drimmick, another man having a great night. Tries to get a bit of contact, couldn't get it. Randall for 3. Got the loose ball. Froling all over the top. Wanted it more. Up fake, kick out. Drimmick. Got it.
Oh, my. And again with the 2 big boys in there now with Froling and DJ. The Adelaide 36ers are getting a bit of momentum, and good heads-up play from Froling, finding the open man at 3.
A career high for Drimmick. He's got 23. Back in front, Sobey had 21 in the first half, yet to take a shot since. Finds Patterson this time, though. And the response is swift.
That's why I like the DJ and Harry Froling matchup, because maybe Eric Griffin tries to force that one up against Hodgie, makes the right decision, and Drimmick and Brendan Tees are putting on an absolute clinic tonight.
Randall lost a handle on it. Braun just puts it in front of Singler. Great pass, leads to an easy layup. The lead's back to 4.
That was a great leading pass, as you called, Cam. Good heads-up play from Braun. Just threw it right out in front for him to be able to run onto it. Great defensive play.
We're seeing career highs everywhere. Singler was 17. Drimmick's got 23 in his high. Tees is shaken up right now. He's got 20. His career high is 23. We said to see what happened here.
You said Tees has got 9 total for the season before this game. Incredible.
Sorry, 13. 13 in 9 games.
In 9 games. Incredible effort.
So Andre Lamanis has got a tech foul here. It's a foul on Nathan Sobey as well. It'll be his 4th.
Tees got to shoot him, surely.
Yeah, we do. Well, I really don't know.
Brendan Tees going to shoot a couple. Already been a... I won't say an interesting situation, but he got a double technical earlier for a little buy play with him and Jason Kadee.
And that's Sobey's 4th foul, so that's a big one, especially off the ball with 7 minutes to go in this game.
Andre Lamanis suggesting he might have played for a little bit. Either way, Brendan T is going to go to foul line when we sort this out. 21 for Brendan Tees. 21 points, his highest ever.
22.
He got 22 now, is it? 22, my apologies. For Brendan Kawhi Leonard Tees. In his hometown. Nothing better than going home and putting on a career night. And he's still got 7.5 minutes to do it.
The big thing for him will be now helping his team get a win. Because it's certainly somber if you have a big game and your team loses.
Jeremy couldn't tie it up. Speaking of big nights, he's had a huge one as well. Braun meets a double team, dribbles out of it and just tried the little crafty pocket pass NFL style. Couldn't quite keep it in court. And Adelaide have an opportunity now to draw within one or level it up.
And their defense has been really good when they have junked it up, and they haven't kept the same thing a lot of times down the floor, whether it's the zone that they try to stay in for extended periods, that time just sending the double and really showing different sides to the Brisbane Bullets.
Randall, great defense by Braun. Falls to Patterson, and now Brisbane the other way. Semi-transition, kicks it out to deep for 3. Griffin was late, did enough. Braun keeps alive. Singler takes 3 steps. That's a travel. Maybe not. Let's have a look. Just missed. I thought he took 3 either way. Fouls on Brendan Tees. And EJ Singler heads to the foul line for a couple. Again, Hammer, another man who's been really impressive tonight. 17 points, career high, which, considering he's only 9 games into his career, is not totally unexpected, but a man that inserted into the starting lineup and looked a hell of a lot more aggressive because of it.
Well, he was. His mindset was on the front foot right from the start. 8 from 11 from the field to 18 points now, but 5 assists and 1 turnover is as impressive for me as the amount of points he's got, but he's played with a great mindset.
That last foul was career adjusted. It was actually Daniel Johnson. That's his 3rd. Look at that foul trouble. Most probably now for Brisbane, Nathan Sobey hasn't had a shot in the second half yet after scoring 21 in the first half. Here's Drumi. He had a big first half as well. This time he elected at the last second to try and pass it off, but he was fouled.
And there's more pressure on the Brisbane Bullets to be able to get this win tonight than the Adelaide 36ers. And I read a tweet from Derek Ruckett during the week saying that in his mind, Brisbane's only had 1 quality win for the entire year. That was against the Perth Wildcats at home. The other wins they've got, 2 wins against Illawarra and also 1 against Cairns at home. So for them to be able to get ahead of some of these other teams to make the top 4, they're going to have a lot of quality wins. And this is one they would expect as DJ gets called for an offensive foul.
She's 4th. And Adelaide's inability the last couple of minutes with turnovers and off-the-ball fouls, as we have a look at that. Peter Hawley.
It's tough, and I think a lot of it was stemmed from the frustration he had before, where he finally got an easy little bucket that was waved off because the foul was called earlier. He's got 4 fouls, he's got 2 points for the night, so I can understand his frustration there, but I still think, was there enough contacts? It's probably a bit tough to kill.
Our NBL Talkback WhatsApp question earlier tonight, which of these 2 teams more likely to make the playoffs? 85% saying the 36ers. Andre Lamanis and his coaching staff at all not happy with the results there, as you can see by their glum faces. A lot of Adelaide people tonight getting involved in the WhatsApp, I'm assuming, Hammer. Not to suggest that they can't make the playoffs, but that's a big difference.
Well, I was looking at the lack of energy from these guys wiping the floor. Can we get out there? We need a little bit of what Jack McVeigh's on to be able to get out there, get that thing wiped up. And let's get on with it. What was the, can you repeat the stat?
85% of our WhatsApp NBL Talkback voters suggesting Adelaide is more likely to make the playoffs than Brisbane.
I don't disagree.
But 85%.
85
That's
is a
pretty
bit
heavy.
much. That's pretty much.
Pretty heavy.
That's, I think, the...
Well, it's probably the same. How many people go to an Adelaide 36ers game compared to the Brisbane Bullets games?
The phone service
They
in Adelaide's
care
a
in
bit better.
South
do.
Australia about their team.
They are passionate. Singler can't hit it. That's why it was a gutsy move to interview Charlie Cameron after he walked out on the Crows a couple of years ago. Some Crows fans still can't forget that. Here is Randall, the other end. Back to action. Takes a bump from Magnay, and he'll go to the foul line for a couple. It's so hard to guard him in that situation without fouling.
It is. He's just, as I said, it's a lonely island to be on. He has that ball on the string, and the hard thing is it depends which way you want to guard him. If you try and pressure him, he's too good with the ball handle. He's just going to go around you. And if you sit off, as you said, he knocks that mid-range jumper down better than anyone else in the league. So he's just such a tough cover, especially one-on-one.
That is not pretty, that style, is it?
It's effective majority of the
It's
time.
been very effective. I mean, he's a great player, a superstar. No doubt about that. But when you have a look at it from front on, it's going in a lot of different directions.
Nails the second, leads back to 4 as he nails 1 or 2. Jerome Randall, the superstar. He has 17 tonight. Patterson, oh, nice pass in the single. He gave it back to him. In the end, Tees couldn't do a great deal. Stood straight up. He's in a little foul trouble himself, but nothing was going to stop Lamar Patterson. The lead is 6.
That's just the control we've been talking of. He never looks like he's going to do anything wrong with the ball.
Randall time. Can't finish the first one. Big rebound. Griffin almost tipped in. Accidentally falls into Kadee's hands. Little bump by Griffin. Here we go. Oh, that's now... First foul is on Griffin.
Well, based on what we've seen earlier,
the precedent was
tickle
set.
and a little slap, it's got to be a tech.
I agree. The precedent was set earlier in the game with the double check. And
Over nothing.
Should we have a look? Hammer talk us through this.
Well, there was clearly
There's the foul,
there.
yep.
That's all good. And normally, I'd say, mate, there's not much in it, let's play on. But we've already set the precedent when there was nothing in the last one. The only problem is, if that's an unsportsmanlike, Kadee's gone, right?
And he's going to pin down.
Yeah, there'll be an automatic
And you know what? That'd be a travesty. If Kadee's gone from that first little slap of the ball, it wasn't even a slap. Tap.
But the referees don't take that into context.
They don't.
They don't. Now, I'm
They
not saying
should.
that, well, maybe they should, but that's something the league has to speak about, not just a referee decision on the night.
Oh, I think common sense is when you go and have a look at the replay and say, hold on, he just tapped the ball, and then they both got a double tech foul for that.
I agree, Hammer. I agree, but I'm just not certain in this situation that they can look at it when the rest of the league
I
doesn't.
don't mean now.
Yeah.
I mean, like
As an overall
now,
picture.
Kadee, based on what's already
Yeah.
been done, has to get...
I agree.
I think on that first one, and we go back to that first one, because it was a double and they cancel each other out, there's just no point in really having it. Nothing was done maliciously enough, maliciously enough for it to warrant at least somebody. So if they're going to get both on that first one, then just offset them, don't even do it in the first place, because, as you said, if precedent's set here, he might be in trouble.
And you know what? Kadee wasn't trying to hit him in the head. He's just trying to push him away and trying to get him. He wasn't trying to hit him in the head. It wasn't anything malicious.
He might actually be saved here by the fact he didn't really raise it. He just jumped and...
But if we said as precedence has been set, there could be a chance he could have an early shower here.
Well, based on that last precedent, I would have got thrown out every game.
How many times were you ejected?
Oh, I'm not sure.
But you a couple of
I made
times?
a lot of times the tribunal.
How about as a coach? Ever ejected as a coach in a couple of stints?
Once when I was playing.
Player coach.
Player coach?
So I got ejected for playing and thrown out. And I said, well, can I stay and coach? They said, no, you're gone for that as well.
You know what?
I've got both roles. That's not fair. Let me put my suit on.
Oh.
Unsportsmanlike on Jason Kadee, which means it will be an ejection.
That's what we were talking about.
So Jason Kadee, if you are joining us late, there was a double tech with Brendan Tees and Jason Kadee in the first quarter. He essentially, in the first half rather, He gave a little slap at the ball.
2 shots per session.
And at the time we spoke about the fact that there wasn't much in it, but it did cancel itself out, so no harm, no foul. But then,
well, there is harm because
there is now.
Now he's gone, which is the big thing that, as you said, they don't think about. But that's a tough way to be thrown out of the game. Even though you make contact with the face, which you can probably argue that one more so than the first one. But because of the first one, it's a really tough thing. And now he has to watch it from the locker room.
And Nathan Sobey on 4 fouls re-enters the game as well as Eric Griffin goes to the foul line. Nails the first. And because it is an unsportsmanlike foul, Eric Griffin has to shoot these because he was the recipient of the little nudge. And can't get the armory rings to help him out in the second one. Only nails 1 of 2, but they will retain the ball. So
that is a huge turnaround. Massive turnaround. And the fact that Andre Lamanis, as you said, has to now bring Sobey back into the game with 4 fouls.
And that is on Taylor Braun.
It's 2 shots. They're in the bonus. And Joey Wright's got some decisions to make too, because Daniel Johnson's sitting on 4 fouls as well. 5:40 to go in the game. At what stage does he pull the trigger on potentially his most valuable player?
Here's Randall. Just a little knee there from Braun just tripping him. So,
and that's a foul. That's a good call. He put his knee out to be able to stop Jerome Randall getting to the position to be able to get a catch.
And I like that you're trying to set the tone after what just happened. You're trying to ramp up the energy on defense, but you've got to be a little smarter. The ball hasn't even been inbounded then, and then you're a bit overzealous.
Exactly, and when these things happen from the offensive perspective, you know you're going to go and initiate the contact to be able to get yourself to the line, because these refs will be trigger happy right now.
Randall with 19, and it's back to 3. Sobey re-enters. Jason Kadee, 8 points. He's hit the shower. Singler's had a great night. Lamar Patterson takes it right at Griffin, gets to the bucket. Oh, over the goaltend's called. Lamar's not overly certain what's going on, but I can tell you, you got 20 points. That went off the backboard first, and the lead is back to 5 as we... The goaltend.
Was it? I think that might have hit Griffin's hands at first look before it hit the backboard.
Wasn't a great deal of arguing from Adelaide. So
that's true.
That is Randall at the other end, and this is Randall time traditionally. He's up to 21, 9 of 19 from the field. Hasn't hit a 3 yet, but he leads his team. This is his time to shine. If they're to win this game, it's going to be on the back of Jerome Randall. Singler at the other end. Can't make it fit. Magna hits it out of the court, and here come Adelaide again.
I spoke about it before. There is more pressure on Brisbane to be able to win this game down the stretch at home than there is on the Adelaide 36ers. They feel like they've got a free swing here. They've picked up a good win against the Phoenix. They've come in here with belief that they can get it done again.
Randall all the way to the bucket. Magnay in a foul trouble, couldn't really stop him. And it's back to 1, 4.5 left. Kickstart week 8, City around, and the 36ers won't go away as they roll themselves back to 1.
I like that. Put the ball in Jerome Randall's hands, get him an on ball. Magnay with foul trouble, attack him, and see whether he can make big plays without fouling.
And he called away the first on ball, let it go, and said, bring me on Will Magnay, I want to go around him. But this man right here, he's been terrific tonight.
22 points for Dremick on Monday night. And he continued that good form tonight here at the Armoury. He has been outstanding, and that was the highlight of the game so far. 2 of his 23 points, but spoke about his confidence and his aggression, boys. When he's in this mood, he's a much different player.
Oh, he certainly is, and that's a great graphic. But the graphic I want to talk about, how is Brendan Tees and Dremick 18 from 23 from the field tonight? Absolutely unbelievable. But Randall's been great as well, but we expect that from him. The surprise packets have been Tees and Dremick.
Got to get Tees back in. Got to get him in now. I don't think he was in the last couple of possessions, so we'll see.
There he is. Looks like he's ready to go. Because you've called it. You've brought up his career high. And I don't want that commentator's curse to get in the way of that, Cameron.
You can lead a horse to water, Halls. You can't make him drink. Four and a half to go. Brisbane by a point. No Jason Kadee, who was ejected only moments ago for his for a second unsportsmanlike, or a unsportsmanlike after earlier receiving a technical foul. Sobey with the ball has 4 fouls and 21 points. And Adelaide's by committee. It's Magnay aggressive inside. Couldn't get it to work. Does he keep it alive? He does. First time Adelaide have had 3 players score 20 or more in the same game tonight. He's kept him in it. Here's Patterson talking more than 20. Crosses over. Gets all the way to the bucket. Couldn't finish it.
Back to the well for the Adelaide 36ers. High pick and roll for Jerome Randall, and see where they can find a solution. The Brisbane Bullets.
Splits the double, gets deep. Braun just stood straight. Drimmy kept it alive, but only to the hand of Sobey, who just drops it off to Braun. Patterson wide open. Got it. Pick your poison at times. He's got 23. The leader's out to 4.
We spoke about what Randall can do late in games. That man there, he's a true game winner. He steps up when he has to, and that's a massive hit.
9 from 15 from the field. And it's been the last couple of minutes you've seen him get more aggressive and understand that this is his time to shine.
Randall hesitates, dribbled it off his own foot, keeps it alive for a split second. Now the Sobey, Drimmy comes around, bumps him, argues it, but it's hard to argue. And Brisbane will go the other way. 6 assists. Brisbane for EJ Singler as well.
Sorry, Cam. Brisbane's done a great job of really clogging up those gaps for Randall to be able to drive in now. Now the next part for him is to be able to find those rotations, spread out those shooters. Spoken about the fact that Tease has been able to hit, and also Dremick from the perimeter as well. And this is where DJ can come into the game as well. Another player to be able to stretch the defense out to the 3.
Here's Patterson, hit the last one. This one turns out, uses the dribble to get deep inside. Can't finish it. Magna will come over the top of Tees and gave him an accidental elbow in the back of the head. It has been a night of many different ups and downs for Brendan Tees right now. Majority of ups. It just looked like Tees was
blocking out. And again, just finding a way to be able to get to the basket.
Sort of comes underneath him.
Yeah, nothing wrong with either of the efforts from those players. Tees has to get in there and try and block him out, and Magnay's just come down with the elbow.
She's picked up his 4th foul, and probably the least of his worries right now. He's a bit shaken up after the accidental elbow. He's had a brilliant night, Brendan Tees. A weird night. Thought he was starting. Wasn't. Had to leave off the court.
Became American for 2 minutes.
Had an accent at half-time. But most importantly, he has been very good. 22 points, and hopefully it's just a little knock that shakes him around for 15 or 20 seconds, and he gets himself feeling better ASAP, because he's had a huge night tonight and been a huge reason Adelaide is still in this game. As Magnay goes to the line. He might have, and you raised this earlier, Hammer, he might have the smoothest free throw shooting style in the league.
For someone of his size, he has got great technique.
Nails both. 7 of 10 from the foul line as well.
Still scratching my head of why DJ's not in the game right now, particularly for Che. I think they could play Griffin and also DJ at the same time, particularly with DJ being able to spread the floor. I know he hasn't done much so far in this game, but quality player, as we know.
Randall. What can he conjure up? His team trails by 6. Just gives it inside. Griffin took his moment. Was patient, was able to put it in. He's got 15. The leader's back to 4.
Great pass from Randall. Really read the rotations there.
And did exactly what you said on the previous play.
Just find the right man. Just read it. Don't be in a hurry. Bring other people into the game.
Patterson. Guarded by Dremick. Shot clock at 3. Magnay just wanted it more, and another 14 seconds here. Shot clock reset for Brisbane. They can run some time. That was always an ambitious pass. Gets to Magnay in the end. He's going to have to shoot it. This is bring the house down. Didn't look like it. Kept alive by Braun into the hand of Patterson. Another opportunity for Brisbane. Griffin gets a hand on it. And the frustration for Joey Wright as Adelaide had 2 chances to secure the ball and couldn't do it.
And we talked about other reasons to have Daniel Johnson in the game. Rebounding. Get him in there. That was 3 offensive boards you've given up at a crucial time.
Patterson just finds a way to get to the right place at the right time. Again, doesn't do it with any sort of athleticism, but again, finds a way to be able to put the ball in a position to draw that foul, almost enticing the defense to be able to have a go, and then flops his body everywhere to be able to get the desired result. And that's 2 cheapies.
24 for Patterson. Makes it 25. Triple figures for Brisbane. First time in NBL20. We see 100 notched up next to the Bullets' name on the scoreboard. And right now, with 2 minutes to go, it equates to a 6-point lead.
Well, it has, and they've put up 100, and then Adelaide have put up 94. They're just 2 teams just on a scoring run right now.
An OMG moments, all thanks to MG. This is no real surprise. And this was essentially in a 15-second period, a big dunk, and then Tarangi calls the turnover. It ended back in Magnay's hand, and 15 seconds later, he was subbed out, but they were fun at the time.
They were the only 2 field goals he's got. He's got 7
needs.
from the free throw line. They were impressive. But back to Brisbane, have a look at those next 4 games. Melbourne away, that is going to be unbelievably tough. Southeast Melbourne, we want to see them on the road. Illawarra at home, winnable game. New Zealand away. Who knows what you're going to get with them right now. But if you can't get 100 against the Adelaide 36ers, they give up 98.5 per game. You're not going to score 100 against anybody.
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix on the road next week. Looking forward to that one. Here is the next 4 for Adelaide. New Zealand at home on Sunday. Perth away. Melbourne away. And Southeast Melbourne and Phoenix at home.
You want to get that Breakers game at home. You want to make sure you get that one under your belt, because your next 3 are going to be extremely tough. But as you said, that last one, the Phoenix on the road, they're going on the road to play Adelaide at home. And it's going to be weird to see the Southeast Phoenix out of Victoria.
Big challenge for them. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're able to provide. I like their team. Well coached. Been impressed with Simon Mitchell as well. So big challenge for them when they have to pack their bags.
We are seeing the nearing the return of Ty Wesley as well.
Quality play.
Back to live action. 6-point deficit for Adelaide. We're under 2 minutes. Randall around the Griffin screen. Takes on Magnay. Uses his body beautifully. Couldn't get it to finish. Referee Tad Dramatic jumps in between EJ Singler and Griffin. It will be a foul on Singler on the rebound. So we have a look. Randall did all the right things. Uses his body so well, as we know he does. Misses one he probably should have made.
You're right, and you called it well. He does use his body so well to be able to get into Magnay. If he hadn't have done that, Magnay was just going to swat that however he wanted to. So being able to create that bump and get rid of the leverage that Magnay had was good, and he really should have made it.
Foul on the rebound, though, so Eric Griffin to the foul line. Foul on Singler. He's got 3. It feels like they've lived this 4th quarter of the foul line, Adelaide, and has given themselves opportunities to stay in this as Griffin nails the first. And no Hungry Jack's Burgers here.
That was less than convincing as well.
It's not how, it's how many, Shane. You know that?
No, take anything you can.
Nathan Sobey. I'm going off memory here. Is the second one short, but Shea keeps it alive. Into Drimmick's hands. He gets fouled. He will go to the foul line and try and cut this lead into a 1 possession. Nathan Sobey has not had a shot in the second half.
You are 100% correct. He was 6 of 9 at half-time, and he is the same right now. And that can't happen. If you have a 21-point first half like that, you cannot have not taken a shot right now. And I don't care what the situation is. If it's a game like that and you are flying, you need to be able to find a way to get that ball up. Because if you were 6 of 9 with 21 at halftime, there's 0 chance you'd be field goalless in this one.
I'm going 6 for 20 before I'm going to end up with the same points. But that's a mentality that I was talking about, and that's why I brought it up, because I noticed it against Illawarra. And it doesn't mean, and again, it's not about how many points you can get, but can you be aggressive to go and make things happen? You've seen Patterson find a way to be able to get himself to the free throw line. That's what good players do that go to the next level, that become franchise players.
Driven with 24. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 as a career. He's got 25 now. Will Magnay just fouled out for the first time in his young NBL career, and when it's all said and done right now, it's back to a one-possession game. It's Brisbane by 3. Oh, Griffin took a risk, couldn't get it. Hodgson's going to open up the laneway. Griffin says not a chance as a three-point play. Didn't give up on it, and Griffin and Hodgson's eyes were wide open. Good opportunity there as we look at the replay. Griffin took the risk. I think it was Randall got in, but Griffin said not a chance. We can give up 3 here, and he didn't. Probably another double foul, actually. It sends Hodgson to the foul line. Oh, my. First one short.
There was absolutely no confidence whatsoever from his shot. You always tell from lack of balance or how quick he shoots it and the lack of follow-through to be able to finish on your toes.
Hodgson against his former team, nails the second, stretches it to 4. Randall guarded by Sobey. Dillon goes away from the Griffin screen. Here's Shea. Randall just gives it. Shoal, great pass. Griffin with a 2-hand dunk. Shea just handed it off to Randall, who was able to creatively find Griffin. It's back to 2. He's got 18.
They found a way to just be able to hang in here for the last 30 seconds of the game to give themselves some sort of chance.
Sobey. Guarded by Randall. Goes off the Hodgson screen. Griffin runs into him. The shot clock's at 3. Going to need to get busy. It's shot clock's at 1.
Oh, my. That was great defense from Griffin, being able to slide his feet in front of Sobey, but their offensive rebound
again
after playing great defense.
Dillon. They need to score and score quickly. Lane opens up, gets a bump. That'll count! Hasn't played a great deal of minutes, Daniel Dillon, again tonight, but when he has been efficient, was great again there. Took the body from Braun and finishes it with the left hand. And there's no Eric Griffin to come over and erase a possible three-point play as we have a look at it.
No, but you're right. When Daniel Dillon, you said he hasn't played too many minutes tonight, but it was a couple of games ago he got thrown in there, and then he's just playing with confidence. And any time he gets out on the floor, he just looks like he's been aggressive.
And that was poor pick-and-roll defense from E.J. Singler that time. Left his man hung out to dry to be able to get to the bucket. And this is the way Adelaide play. They've only taken 17 three-point attempts to 32 for the Brisbane Bullets. They want to attack at every opportunity.
It's a 1-point Brisbane lead, 103-102, 37 seconds to go. Patterson guarded by Shea. Got a 14-second differential, so Adelaide should get another opportunity. Patterson, great pass inside. Singler has to kick it back. Patterson for a long 2, it's short. Randall with the rebound, to the races, takes on Sobey, has to kind of let him go. It would have been his 5th foul. Randall puts him in front. 13.9 seconds to go. Nathan Sobey, with 4 fouls in the back of his mind, could really only play the hope and pray on the rundown block. In the end, Randall too creative as we have a look at it. Shane Hill.
Oh, what a turnaround. You see Lamar Patterson with that open three-point shot, really. And the difference, a 5-point turnaround, because when Jerome Randall gets the ball on the open court, doesn't matter who's chasing him, he's tough to catch.
And after a 4th quarter, we just expected Brisbane to get the job done. They now find themselves needing to score. As we look at Jerome Randall, who has put Adelaide in front, and what a night he has had. No real difference to any other night. 25 points, and when the mid-range game is going, feels like he can do anything, Peter Hawley.
Well, it is, and he's really taken over down the stretch, as we've come to know from Jerome Randall. But before that, it was a real quiet 25 that he's had. Granted, a lot of that's probably because of the game that Brendan Teese and Anthony Drimmick have had, but he's just doing what he does best, and he's such a tough cover. And for how small he is, he doesn't play like that whatsoever. He hasn't been hitting his 3-ball, but he knows that he can affect the game in so many different ways, as we saw from the play before that when he dropped it off to Griffin for the dunk.
He plays with a chip on his shoulder because of his size, and I love it.
25 points for Jerome Randall, and Adelaide lead for the first time in the 4th quarter. They lead by a point, 13.9 seconds to go. If you have Jerome Randall in fantasy, you're probably fairly happy right about now. If you haven't joined yet, play incredible. Jump on fantasy.nbl.com.au.
You wouldn't mind having Tees either, would you? He would have been nice and cheap on the fantasy.
Had a big night, Brendan Tees.
Been impressive. This is a massive possession for both teams in the bigger picture, the scheme of things for their season.
Where do you go, Shane Hill?
You go to Lamar Patterson. Get it straight back into him. He'll pass it in. Go get it.
Gee, they only just got it in. The shot 5 second was down. There's Singler. Wants to take on Griffin. Half fade away. That is ugly. That is real ugly. Patterson gets it.
Oh, wow. No, he didn't.
I don't know how, but Lamar Patterson has somehow put it back in, and one foul shot to come.
And that's what we're talking about. He doesn't do it through athleticism. He gets himself to the right place at the right time, reads the ball off the hoop like this, draws the foul, and how did he put that in? He didn't even have possession.
He's a flat-out gamer, that dude. That is incredible. Just incredible awareness to get it up knowing you're probably going to be fouled. And then the skill just to get it in. You can't teach that. He has, as you said, he's got a knack for finding these rebounds and just the awareness to throw it up.
He's just a hooper.
Lamar Patterson's big night continues. He's got 27 and Brisbane are back in front. And again, great defense by Griffin. Forced what could only be described as a ugly, tough shot by E.J. Singler. But Lamar Patterson's ability, Peter Hawley, as you mentioned, right place, right time, and there's more than luck. When you're a player at this caliber, you find and make your own luck, and that's what he's done again here.
You're absolutely right, and as I said, you find a knack of getting in those spots, and you just throw it up. And when you're a flat-out gamer and baller like that, you said it's just innate. There's a few of them in the league. Casper Ware's another one.
Leaves it off. It's going to be kept alive. And get an offensive rebound. It falls to Singler. Got a foul. And this has been, in the end, when it's all said and done, offensive rebounds for Brisbane, Shane Hill, could and well be the difference.
And there's no doubt about that. And how many have they got? 14 offensive rebounds. But it's when they've happened that has been able to kill the Adelaide 36ers. But the other thing there is how long it took for the players to recognise that there was an offensive rebound. They needed to foul straight away. Now there's only 2.5 seconds to go.
Singler, first one's in. 31 fouls for the Adelaide 36ers, the most in NBL20 on a team.
You talk about the 14 offensive rebounds. They've had 5 in the last 2.5, 3 minutes, and they had 3 in a back-to-back play. The huge timing.
Do you miss this?
No.
No, with 2.5.
They keep it alive. Randall's going to have a shot to win it. Nearly hit the roof, but for a split second, it was online and thought a miracle was about to happen. But Brisbane to kickstart City round.